Chapter 6. I'm merely attempting to eliminate a traitor from the kingdom. I've heard that Emperor Yao ruled according to the will of heaven. He accepted political advice from his civil officials and stratagems of war from his military ministers. He held daily discussions on how to rule the country and serve the people, and was pious and upright in his comportment. He avoided minions and distanced himself from beautiful concubines. But your majesty's been absent from court for more than half a year. You drink and feast by day and lust by night. You've long ceased to show any concern for the people and state, and for the faithful advice of your loyal ministers. Mei Bo worked himself up. Du Yuanxian's a loyal minister. If you put him to death on account of your concubine, you'll be cursed for butchering your father's old minister, and denounced as the destroyer of the nation, for your act tantamount to wrecking a house by removing its pillars and beams. I exhort you to let Du Yuanxian live, for if you do, people will honor you as a saintly ruler. King Zhou was displeased. Mei Bo must be an accomplice of Du Yuanxian, and must be likewise punished, for he's committed the crime of trespassing the forbidden inner palace. Yet I'll pardon him, since he's served me so well in the past. However, he should be dismissed from his post in the royal government forever. He announced. You licentious tyrant! You place your trust in your concubine Daji, but have only disdain for your ministers. Mei Bo protested sternly. If you execute Du Yuanxian, you're actually decapitating thousands of the citizens of Zhaoge. Dismissing me from my post will cause me no regret. I'm glad to shake this dust from my body. Yet, I'm indeed sorry to see the Shang dynasty, which has lasted for hundreds of years, about to collapse in the hands of a licentious tyrant. State affairs have taken a bad turn ever since the Grand Tutor Wen Zhong left for the front. You listen daily to the fawning courtiers, and spend your nights in dissipation with Daji. The kingdom will suffer disaster soon, and I fear that I won't have the face to confront our deceased kings in the netherworld. King Zhou became enraged and ordered his guards to seize Mei Bo and smash his skull at once. As the guards were about to lay hands on Mei Bo, Daji stepped in and said, "Wait. I've got a suggestion, Your Majesty." "How do you intend to deal with him, my love?" King Zhou asked. "I must say that any minister who dares to stand before Your Majesty, eyebrows raised, eyes bulging, and insult Your Majesty shouldn't be treated as an ordinary criminal and shouldn't be put to death in the ordinary way. Put Mei Bo in jail temporarily. I'll deal with him in a new form of torture and give a warning to the cunning and the wicked." "What's this torture?" asked King Zhou. "It uses a hollow pillar of brass, 20 feet in height and 8 in circumference. It has 3 fire doors in its upper, middle and lower part through which charcoal is placed inside. Strip the criminals, chain and wrap them around the red-hot pillar. In a second, bones, flesh and blood will turn to a fetid smoke and disappear. This new torture's called the burning pillar, and we may use it to subdue the wicked ministers that dare to break the law." "This is indeed a perfect idea, my dear lady," King Zhou said. "Decapitate Du Yuanxian for spreading rumors about the palace spectral aura, and send Mei Bo to jail." He ordered, and then told his engineers to make burning pillars according to Daji's design. Observing the king's atrocities, and his blind faith in Daji, Shang Rong was filled with despair. "I must report to you, Your Majesty. As all urgent matters are now settled, and as everything in the kingdom is thriving, my old age and poor health make it difficult for me to bear the heavy burden of office. I'm afraid I may make errors in my confusion and offend Your Majesty. I pray that you'll have mercy on me and permit me to retire and live out my life in peace." But King Zhou tried to comfort him, saying, "Though you're in the evening of life, you're still healthy. Nevertheless, I must approve your resignation since you've approached me with due sincerity. You've labored faithfully for so many years, and I'm very reluctant to let you go." He ordered that 2 ministers escort Shang Rong to his native home, and that he be given rewards. He also issued an order that Shang Rong should be well taken care of by the local magistrate. When the ministers learned that Shang Rong had retired and was returning to his native place, they gathered at the Changting Pavilion beyond the capital to see him off. Among them were Prince Huang Feihu, Bigan, Wei Zi, Jizi, Wei Ziqi, and Wei Ziyun, all close relatives of King Zhou. When Shang Rong arrived, he dismounted from his horse and went up to greet his colleagues. A spokesman for them all said, "Prime Minister, you're retiring in honor. But as an elder statesman, how can you cast the dynasty aside and gallop away home? Will you be able to remain there with your heart at ease?" Shang Rong was visibly moved. "Colleagues, I'm sorry that I cannot give my body and soul in return for the grace bestowed on me by the nation. Yet it's also against my will to spend the rest of my days in retirement. You're all well aware that His Majesty blindly trusts Daji. She's now suggested the idea of the burning pillar to deal with the loyal. My petitions all go unheeded, and I'm afraid that before long new disorders will erupt in the kingdom. As I no longer had the competence to serve His Majesty, I decided to retire and give someone more qualified than myself a chance. I'm saying farewell to His Majesty out of selfish concern for my own personal safety and happiness. Let's toast to our brief separation, for we'll soon meet again," he said and, cup in hand, chanted a poem. "For seeing me off this far, I raise my glass, tears falling, away from the king, as if in another world. I'll pray for peace from my native place. I would sooner shed blood, like martyrs of old, than aid a tyrant, the history's worst. Sorrows linger among us this day. When shall we meet again, and recall this parting?" When Shang Rong finished, his colleagues tearfully took their leave. Shang Rong mounted his horse and rode away, and they returned to Zhaoge. King Zhou continued to indulge with Daji day and night, ignoring all state affairs. Several days later, it was reported to the tyrant that the burning pillars were ready. Greatly pleased, King Zhou asked Daji, "Now that the burning pillars are ready, what shall we do?" Daji ordered that the pillars be brought in for her inspection. When they were, she looked them over carefully. She noted with satisfaction that they were made precisely according to her design, and each was fitted with 2 wheels so that they might move around. King Zhou pointed his finger at Daji and laughed. "My beauty, you're so clever to have invented such a marvelous torture. Let's try it out on Mei Bo, at the Grand Hall, tomorrow." Early the next morning, King Zhou ascended his throne. After the official greetings were over, Huang Feihu saw 20 shining brass pillars standing at the eastern end of the court. He was wondering what they were for when the king ordered that Mei Bo be brought in and a brass pillar moved to the center of the court. The fire was lit and fanned until the heat turned the pillar molten red. Then Mei Bo entered. He knelt down before King Zhou, his hair disheveled, his face unwashed, and his thin cotton garments in dirt. "You damned fool! Do you know what this is for?" the king asked. Mei Bo raised his head and looked at the burning brass pillar. "No, I've no idea what it is for, Your Majesty." The king laughed. "You damned fool! All you know is how to insult your own king with your sharp tongue, but it seems you're ignorant of the fact that I've invented the burning pillars specifically to deal with you. I'll now use it to roast your flesh and bones. Let those who would blaspheme me with rumors and slanders take this as a warning. You licentious tyrant!" Mei Bo shouted. "I'm not afraid of death. I've already served 3 emperors of this dynasty. What crime have I committed that you'll put me to such a cruel death? I only regret that the Shang dynasty will end tragically in your hands. Won't you be ashamed to meet your ancestors in the netherworld?" King Zhou was infuriated, and immediately had Mei Bo stripped, shackled, and placed upon the red-hot brass pillar. Mei Bo let out a single piercing scream, and his body turned to ashes, leaving a nauseating stink pervading the court. What a pity that Mei Bo should meet a tragic end, simply because he served his people, his nation, and his king with loyalty. King Zhou thought that the burning pillar was a wonderful invention, but he did not know that all of his ministers were in full sympathy with Meibo, and that there was not one of them who didn't want to leave the palace and give up his official life. It was clear that by now the unity of the kingdom was broken, and that the dynasty's days were numbered. As they left the Grand Hall, Wei Zi, Jizi, and Bigan met Huang Feihu. The state is now unstable. Uprisings broke out in the North Sea district, and Grand Tutor Wen rushed there to suppress them. How could we ever imagine that the king would devote himself wholeheartedly to Daji, and treat us so mercilessly? Now he's invented that cruel torture in order to slaughter his loyal ministers. If word of it reached the nobles, our troubles would multiply endlessly. They said, greatly troubled. Huang Feihu stroked his long beard. Princes, as I see it, the worst victim of the burning pillar isn't Meibo, but the Shang dynasty. It'll be reduced to ashes and vanish from the face of the earth. An ancient proverb says, if a king regards his officials as his hands and feet, they will regard him as the heart and stomach. But if he looks upon them as dust, they will hate him as a thief. The king's ruthless killing of Meibo is a bad omen, and great disasters will soon follow. How can we sit calmly and watch the downfall of this dynasty? When he arrived at his residence, King Zhou was met by Daji. It's your wonderful idea. Meibo's death will serve as a warning to anyone who won't keep his mouth shut. The pillar's truly an efficient tool. He told her and took her in his arms. He then ordered a feast in honor of Daji. They ate and drank to the accompaniment of music until midnight, when a sudden gust of wind blew the sweet strains to Queen Jiang's bedroom. Hearing it, she asked her attendants, "Where does that alluring music come from at this hour of night?" "Your Majesty." "It comes from the Fairy Longevity Palace, where His Majesty and Lady Su are still drinking together." Queen Jiang sighed deeply. "I was informed that His Majesty took Daji's advice, built the burning pillars, and has put Meibo to death. That cheap wench is luring him into evil deeds. Prepare my coach. I'll go to the Fairy Longevity Palace and see His Majesty at once," she ordered. This visit was undoubtedly prompted in part by jealousy, and would lead to greater calamities. If you want to know what happened next, you must read the next chapter.